Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal PeaceLoveMusic with another episode of the Let's Go Good Morning Show, brought to you live by DeOrganized Media in partnership with our excellent friends at BitcoinLive, Decentralized Broadcasting. It is Tuesday. Hard to keep track of the days anymore. They just all run into each other. Friendly reminder. It actually helps us tremendously when you share out the live stream. It's very important. Very important for us. If you like what we're doing, you like what we're here for, you like what we represent, share out the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for watching us and what we do. We really appreciate it. We work really hard to bring you guys value on a daily basis to cover what's going on in the Bitcoin and broader crypto space with a focus on the leading L2 stacks, which we love. However, we are not maxis. We were interested in all things crypto that are going on. Shout out to Dave, All Things Crypto Show. We are very interested in making sure that you guys are as informed as possible. We provide news and information, some education, hopefully some entertainment, never financial advice. Always do your own research. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose. That being said, the numbers this morning. Bitcoin coming in at 109,550 just before broadcast, about a half an hour ago. It had topped up over 110 again. That's a very, very good sign. Stacks coming in at 71 cents. Seems to have bottomed and started to recover from the little bit of overly actionable bad news on Friday with Alex. It's really not as actually a big a deal as people think or responded to, and that price action should come back. Not financial advice. The top three gainers. Fear and Greed Index actually shot up from the mid 50s in neutral range up to the greed range in 64. And the top three gainers in the last 24 hours are Uniswap, Aave, and Sky. Not familiar with Sky, but Unity and Aave doing well. It's also a good sign for the ecosystem. Things are looking up after a rough week. Stacks. When you stack your STX, you earn native Bitcoin rewards. You earn Bitcoin, native Bitcoin. You stack your stacks, you earn Bitcoin. Bitcoin, every 2 weeks, you get Bitcoin dropped into your wallet from stacking with the stacking pool. Usually every 2 weeks. Sometimes it used to be when the fees were a little bit higher, they would actually hold rewards for several cycles and drop them all at once. But they don't need to do that anymore because fees have been low. But that could happen. But every 2 weeks, roughly, is a cycle, and you get the rewards in Bitcoin every 2 weeks, like somewhere around 8% right now on your stacks, and you earn that in Bitcoin. SBTC is programmable Bitcoin for DeFi. Stacks has fast, low-fee transactions, proof of transfer security, and native Bitcoin rewards. Tell your friends. In the Stacks DeFi world, Hermetica is offering 3% yield on USDH with over 5.5 million total value locked on the platform. You can check out the fresh new dashboard data over at hermetica.fi right now and participate in a Bitcoin-backed dollar stablecoin on Stacks with Hermetica. You can DCA programmatically or automatedly into Bitcoin stacks, runes, and more effortlessly at bitflow.finance. And now Flex pools allow users to provide liquidity in any ratio while benefiting from ultra-low slippage. Velar PerpDex is alive, and you can now engage in perp trading on Stacks with Velar. Stake your Velar token, pair your favorite tokens with SBTC, earn yield, and trade tokens on Velar. Protocol is a Bitcoin native DeFi protocol enabling cross-chain swaps, bridging, and payments in BTC. They recently just launched Solana Bridge. Zest is offering 4.09% on SBTC, and the highest yield at Zest today is 11.99%. I didn't double check that. That might be off. Actually, that fluctuates, so that don't bank that one. Over at Stacking DAO, you can earn 8.35% on STX with STSTX liquid staking stacks, 8.98% native BTC yield, so it's actually closer to 9% today. Native Bitcoin yield on Stacks stacking, or 8.11% with yields in SBTC over at Stacking DAO. And the top 3 token gainers on Stacks on stxtools.io are Flat Earth, Velar, and Satoshi AI. STX Tools, by the way, is the place to go to do your own research if you're interested in investing in Stacks tokens. What is happening on Stacks today? Oh, that's right, the DeFi show. I wonder. So our show has a hard stop today. We had a great episode of the Whatever Morning with Binta. We had Eric from X Inc. come on to talk to him about his project. Excited to actually get him on the morning shows or one of our shows so we can actually do some visual representations of his stuff. Stacking Down DeFi show is at 10 o'clock today. There's also a 10 o'clock, the first session or session 1 of the appointments committee discussions is happening at 10 a.m. today too. So I'm not sure if there's actually going to be the Stacking Down DeFi show as well. Hermetica Hangout today at noon, and I am actually going to be the featured guest talking about DeOrganized on there. Super excited to get on that show. We have Art on Stacks at 3 p.m. At 5:30, we have All Things Crypto. At 7 p.m., we have DeOrganized Nightly. I'm not positive if we're going to get the Learn TA with Landy today at 1 because I'm not sure how long the Hermetica Hangout will go. I'm really excited and hopeful that we can get back on track with the Learn TA with Landy series because that has been providing great value to our community. But I'm not sure. Also, I believe 7 p.m. tonight, we have Greg Hale, one of the producers and writers of the Blair Witch Project, who's working on a cool new book series that's going to be tied into some kind of NFT gaming experience. And we met him at Bitcoin Beach, the Bitflow Bitcoin Beach event with Trio and Liquidium back in Vegas. And I believe he's coming on GP's show tonight to chat more about what he's working on and or just get in on the conversation. Really cool dude. And we're excited to have him on today. Let me just jump over into the Stacks event calendar, make sure I'm not missing anything. I know there was some Proof of Talk Paris. That's the other thing going on today. Proof of Talk Paris is an all-day event, and you can go over to the events calendar on Stacks. It's stacks.co/explore/events. And then you click on the event that you're interested in. Any of the events will have some information about how to follow. I think www.proofoftalk.io is where you can participate or follow what's going on in the Proof of Talk Paris event happening today. That is the event calendar. We're going to wait. Still working on some updates for DeOrganized.media. If you guys are adventurous, you can head on over to DeOrganized.media, set up your own account. We're almost ready to go completely live with self-service for shows. So you don't have to actually send all your information into me or GPSC. You can actually just put your show information in there, manage your episodes, all self-service, permissionlessly. We do have to approve shows just to make sure that there's nothing malicious coming out on there. But yeah, short of something actually being dangerous or harmful to the community, everything gets approved. We're not looking to gatekeep any of that. It is a open community calendar for everybody. In the news, Bitcoin rose above $110,000 in the past 24 hours, continuing its upward momentum amid increasing institutional activity. Publicly traded companies like BitMine, Immersion Technologies, and KULR Technologies made new BTC purchases. BitMine acquired 100 BTC, while KULR added $13 million in BTC, bringing their total to 920 BTC. This follows Strategy's recent buy of 1,045 BTC. The surge reflects growing confidence in Bitcoin as a corporate treasury asset and hedge against inflation. So, it's been about 8-9 months since we've been doing this show. 10 10 months since we've been doing the live morning show. And when we first started, one of the regular every day was a MicroStrategy story, and they were the ones. And back then, I was telling you guys. By the way, this is my new Fact Fun shirt. I love Fact Fun. I love Rafa, and I love Nobody Famous, who was commissioned to make these, hand delivered to me in Vegas. And huge shout out to Fact Fun. But I've been telling you guys that this is going to be the norm. Companies are going to start copying what strategy is doing and buying into their treasuries and issuing stock in order to do so. And it's just starting to roll. There's a lot more, in my opinion, upside, not financial advice. SEC Chair Paul Atkins is floating a proposal for a new regulatory innovation exemption aimed at decentralized finance platforms. The exemption would allow compliant DeFi projects to operate with lighter oversight while still maintaining investor protections. While no official rule change has been announced, the move signals a more accommodative stance towards crypto-native financial systems and may lay the groundwork for regulatory clarity in the U.S. Société Générale, I'm not sure, it's a French word. I'm not sure how to pronounce that with all those accents. Has launched USD Coinvertible, a dollar-backed stablecoin on Ethereum and Solana. The stablecoin is fully backed by US dollar reserves, which will be custodied by BNY Mellon. This move signifies the continuing convergence between traditional finance and blockchain-based digital assets. SocGen, or SocGen, is positioning its stablecoin as a tool for institutional DeFi and cross-border settlements in regulated environments. Tether has released its proprietary Bitcoin mining operation system, Moria, as open source software. That's interesting. Designed to enhance transparency and decentralization in mining operations, the OS is now available for public use and modification. Tether says this move empowers smaller miners and promotes standardization in mining software. It follows recent scrutiny of Tether's role in BTC mining and energy infrastructure. I think that's a really interesting move to open source their mining platform, because it encourages more mining, which actually does make Tether stronger the better the Bitcoin network is, and the better. It's interesting. The Indian government officials are expressing concern that widespread use of cryptocurrencies could dollarize the country's economy. A new policy review is underway as regulators assess risk to India's financial sovereignty. The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, reiterated its warnings that crypto could undermine monetary control. India continues to operate without a formal crypto regulatory framework despite growing adoption across the country. It actually seems to me that crypto as a vector for further dollarization, or the further establishment of US dollar trade, settlement hegemony, is part of the design, part of the plan of the people that are in support of promoting and growing crypto use in the US. So I think that that's a worthy concern for them over in India. But maybe that's actually better, though. It's not just the dollarization, it's the cryptoization, which is good for everybody, really, at the end of the day. The dollar is the fiat currency, and the crypto is the hard currency. Bitcoin is the hard currency. ETF flows on June 9th. Bitcoin saw ETFs experienced a new outflow of $47.8 million. Grayscale BTC led with an outflow of $30 million. Ethereum's spot ETF saw a total net inflow of $35.2 million. It's definitely a stark contrast in where Ethereum is routinely out inflowing Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks. ETH Fidelity's ETH recorded the highest single-day inflow of $18 million, followed closely by BlackRock's ETH. BlackRock also met Miles. They have like something like 870 billion, some huge number, $780 billion in Bitcoin currently in there. It's like the fastest growing ETF ever, even though they're on net outflows the last couple of days. SIP31, ongoing discussions. There was a release last night of an update to the structure of the Treasury Committee, which I think is a huge update and a big step towards really allaying most of the remaining community fears as far as the governance side of things. The structure of the committee is going to be more balanced with more community at large rotational members, and it's kind of separating the key holder position. It doesn't guarantee a key holder spot on the committee, which is probably a good thing, because it separates the potential for the creation of a faction of key holders, which I don't know is necessarily a huge concern, but it's just an optics thing. And I think it makes the community feel better about things moving forward with this adjustment. Also at 10 a.m., there will be a conversation, the session one, as I mentioned, for the appointments committee launching at 10 a.m. Get into that. If you have not now, get over to Mitchell's post on the Stacks forum. Follow the links. You have to go through the original source material so you understand what the conversation is. Then from there, you submit and you can get the link from the Zoom meeting to participate. The more people participating in that, the better. So get out there and participate in that, please. Good morning, Anthony. Any word on Alex? Do you think they will fold? Would the community take them over? I have no idea about any of that, man. What do you think about subnets? I think that there's demand for them. I think Rafa's really interested. I think what Rosar is working on is really cool. I don't know that we need a centralized piece to that as far as subnets go. I don't know if there's a lot of FUD so much as Rafa sees some value in what he's trying to build out, and he's expressing that. I don't think the core entities are as interested in facilitating that right now. It's not part of the immediate roadmap for them, but it's an open source system, and maybe just maybe Rosar is building out what will be, and Rosar and Rafa and some of the other guys that maybe were working on subnets before they kind of got shelved, that Hero can kind of work something out. I'm optimistic that we'll find solutions, and I don't think Rafa is going anywhere. Although, I mean, if he does, that's his prerogative. I hope he doesn't. He's a huge value asset to our ecosystem. Good morning, Wolf. Good morning, Hero. Good morning, Jamie. Do I trust? No, I don't trust anybody. I trust in humanity. I trust in that most people have good intent, and that most people, when otherwise left alone, will actually be most productive. But I don't trust Tether or USDC. I don't trust any of them. I trust Hermetica more. I'll say that. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Crypt Titty. What is up? Thank you. I like my shirt. I love Nobody Famous. I hope she's okay. I haven't heard from her in a little while. She's probably busy. She hasn't been joining us on the morning shows. Also, guys, I think if you hear from GPSC, just don't give him too much of a hard time. I think he was up very late last night. I think he had to bring his dad to the emergency room. I saw some posts on Facebook from like 3 o'clock this morning. Dude was at the emergency room. Dad's okay, from what I understand. It's not a huge issue, but there was some concerns. He had to bring him to the emergency room, and he's not here right now. I haven't heard from him. I hope he's sleeping. He's probably sleeping. Actually, let me just double check. No, I haven't heard from him, but I messaged him on Facebook where I'd seen the post and told him get some rest. So I don't have GP. At 9, I'm actually going to jump into the Clarity working group call with Gary and Set Zeus, and just stream that until we do Fine to Earn at 9:30. I'm actually, it's every other week, and because of a number of reasons, I just haven't picked it up in the last like month, partly because of Vegas and other stuff going on. Let me actually jump in there now. Hopefully it doesn't tax my system too much running the two. No, go back to sleep, GB. What's up, brother? How are you, man? Yeah, how you doing? You doing all right?
What's up, dude? Having a rough morning, man. Like, so I'm trying to figure out how to use MetaMask. ETH shit sucks, dude. And then I'm using Allbridge to bridge USDC over. I tried to use 10 as a test transaction, and I don't know what happened.
You were trying to
and it took all of the USDC.
Your connection's a little.
Took all the USDC in my wallet.
You're like
it's probably because I got too much shit going.
Yeah, just your audio was breaking up a little bit.
Is it any better
Yes,
now?
way better.
Okay, so I'm talking with all the Allbridge customer support because I tried to bridge over some USDC this morning because I wanted to buy some stacks. I feel like I'm just speculating. You know, it's a nice price to get in, like the discount. Try to bridge over 10 USDC to test transaction, and then all of the USDC left my MetaMask wallet. ETH stuff. Yeah, so now I'm on support. They're trying to figure out like what happened. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. So I'm having a rough morning. Got very little.
Your MetaMask wallet doesn't show any of your ETH, right? Any of your USDC?
Yeah, no, all of the USDC transferred out of it. Whenever I went to Allbridge and used like 10 USDC just to test, and all of the USDC left. So it's like, oh, okay, well, now I'm on the support. And then I get a call, so I go to their Telegram, and I'm like, I'm tired, right? I'm tired. I go to their Telegram, and I'm like, hey, this happened. You know, let's try to get some answers, right? And then I get a call from Allbridge official chat, right? Like, and I'm on the phone with the scammer. I'm like, yeah, this doesn't seem right. You guys don't usually reach out first and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, it's and then I was on the phone with the scammer for a minute, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing this. I'll just go open a ticket. So like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't fumble everything this morning.
Nice. I'm actually gonna share my screen. We're gonna cover the Clarity Working Group meeting this morning. Morning, Mel.
Good morning, Mel.
Hi, how
Good.
you both?
How are you?
Good then.
Hanging by the skin of my teeth.
Huh?
Hanging by the skin of my teeth.
What happened?
Just trying my best.
His
to hang in
dad was not feeling well. He was at the emergency room until at least I saw him post on Facebook at like 3 a.m.
Oh my word.
Yeah. Crazy.
I'm sorry to hear that. Is he okay now? Or you still waiting?
Yeah, he's feeling a little rough, but like he's okay. Everything came out just fine. So God is good.
One more minute.
And we're gonna carry the first half an hour of the Clarity Working Group call live. So that's
not Satoshi. I don't know who this is. Not Satoshi. Who are you?
I feel like it is Satoshi because, like, why would you say not Satoshi? You know,
That's true.
That's my exact point. That's my exact point. If I say that I'm not Satoshi, then no one will ever cotton on to the fact that I could actually be Satoshi. But so could Gary.
makes sense to me.
you guys kick the DeOrganized note taker. That's been following me around since I tried a free trial, and I don't know how to turn it off. But it's useless.
You should, because Jesus was about to not let it in.
Reject it.
Yeah. It is just a note taker for me from I forget the name of the Otter AI. It's actually kind of a cool tool, except for
Oh, cool.
it's free, and I don't have enough time to go back. I thought I've turned it off a few times, and I'm not sure. So anyway, you can disregard, you can kick it if you want.
It is good in the sense that it somehow locks itself in pretty well. Like I always see it.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
No AI zone. All right, cool guys. Let's go ahead and kick off. I'm going to share the presentation. I did it in the calendar. I'm going to share it in the conversation here as well. Okay, we have 2 special items to talk about today that I am pretty pumped up about. Okay, cool. June 10th, Clarity Working Group. Okay, as usual, SBTC update, Orange Hats Initiative. Then I actually want to discuss the Alex Go exploit. Then we can go into Zero to Clarity. So, SBTC, again, nothing Clarity related for the foreseeable future. I'm probably going to remove this from the agenda for next meeting. I've had this as a default item since we basically started working on SBTC, but as of now, there's nothing on the horizon Clarity-wise. I'm actually just doing a lot of Rust for SBTC at the moment. Okay, Orange Hats. So this is exciting. All right, so I had a long talk with Adriano, and Adriano basically pointed out that instead of onboarding, ideally 2 to 3 engineers every quarter, why don't we turn the lessons into a video series so that we can then just onboard as many people continuously without having them be quote unquote in cohorts. So I put together a 25 days of advanced clarity. For those of you guys, people need to be on time. For those of you guys who have not seen my 100 Days of Clarity video, this is kind of a continuation on that. But the focus is on advanced clarity with the goal of onboarding security engineers and existing contract developers in other ecosystems. And basically getting into the point where they can ramp up to do audits. Okay. So if everyone could take 2 to 3 minutes now to read through this document. It's just an outline. It's not very long. It's just a lot of bullet points. Please go ahead and do so. And then at 9:08, so 2 minutes from now, let's start discussing it. I'm just looking for feedback, concerns, completion. Is there anything that I am missing here, etc.? Obviously looking for the more advanced developers here for your opinion, but yeah, feel free to open up the doc and give me your input. At the very least, Bryce, Hugo, Gary, Bowtied, you guys know who you are. Don't be gun shy, because I'm just going to call you out anyways.
So those of you that are just turning in, we are screen sharing the live
Give you guys 2
Clarity
minutes.
Working Group meeting. This is every other week on Tuesday mornings. If you're looking to learn Clarity, there's actually some beginner level stuff that Gary handles or some deep advanced stuff that they talk about. And we just carry this every so often just to give an exposure to our ecosystem about it. Some really cool stuff. GP, so you're not sure if you got Mr. Wolf was actually asking in the live chat, did you get hacked? You don't know. Probably not though. It's probably just a bug.
No, I didn't get hacked. There's something that I did with the MetaMask wallet that's like I did something wrong. So they're looking into it now. The funds it's likely reversible. So I didn't get hacked. I didn't lock into I didn't sign my wallet, sign a transaction.
Oh no. That's brutal.
Yeah. Rough.
Yeah, you'll be. I'm sure it'll be
I can't
fine.
respect those prices with Y's in their names.
Little stressful, right?
Yeah, dude. I handle stress well. I think I'll be all right.
What time did you get in last night, man?
4 a.m.
Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Boy,
It's gonna be
are
a long one.
you're in on the appointment committee session. Mel, did you? I got a message from you earlier, like just as I was going live. I didn't get a chance to respond. You were asking me about the SIP meeting. Are you talking about? Are you talking about like the appointment committee? The appointment committee meeting?
Okay, cool. So we've
I
done
didn't
2
even know
minutes,
about
3
that.
minutes.
I'm talking about the
Any
meeting,
questions,
you know,
any
the
concerns,
call
anything,
tomorrow.
any feedback?
I'm sorry.
Am I missing anything here that you guys
Yeah.
would like to
A
see?
bit later.
Again, Bryce, Hugo, Bowtide, Gary, Pato. What items am I missing here that would ramp someone up to be basically at the forefront of clarity as quickly as possible? You don't need to raise your hand. We can just talk to you.
Yeah, so here in the implement rate heading, I'm not sure if implement rate gives a sense of security at all. Like implement rate just makes sure that your contract has some functions. Maybe I would switch the focus from security there to just understanding how it works, maybe for the video, but maybe it's just personal.
I feel like you know that, but I do hear often that like if something adheres to SIP 10, then it's technically safe. So I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Got it.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I mean, you do mention the false sense of security. I just feel like,
yeah.
But that I agree with what he's saying.
Yeah, Bowtie, the point of this video is to make it explicitly clear that trades have nothing to do with security. Like, do not lean on them even a little bit.
Maybe there's sort of like a common pitfalls or sort of like an area that separates that explicitly so they understand. Like I get messed, like the contract caller TX ender thing screws me up. Like I always have to go back. So that obviously makes sense to me. Post conditions is something that I don't see here. I know they're kind of being handled. But
Nice. Yeah.
That's always been an issue for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna add post conditions. Okay. Great point, Gary.
The decimal math, you mean like in what sense? Like
I mean straight up decimal math.
Just anything.
Just decimal math, precision. There's been a lot of protocols that just literally had their precision math wrong, and their logic checks were wrong and were therefore exploited. Such as ones that start with a Z and rhyme with test.
I like the multi-contract thing. I don't think we've really nailed that down well, as you say.
Which one?
14 to 16, like calling other contracts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
one more thing. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No.
About rendezvous 24.
Yeah.
It says that it exhausts all the edge case scenarios. In reality, it's not 100% true because it's a deterministic randomness. But yeah, it is a powerful tool, but I wouldn't raise the bar so
Still
much.
high.
Like,
fair.
Yeah, we plan to have some coverage guided approach, but it's not there yet. So.
Copy.
What about sources? Like, I do find
Guys in the live chat just
some mismatches
audio
between, let's
quality
say,
on
some
the
stuff on
live
GitHub
is pretty
versus
good.
like Hero docs. Is there any kind of like, are we able to point to a set of docs yet, or do we feel like we still need to sort of like be able to sift through all the docs we have across all the places?
I feel like, this isn't gonna be able to centralize all of these sources or like come to an agreement on which is the source of truth. It's going to be per video. I saw Hugo type something in terms of wording. Would it make more sense to say securely using context instead of hijacking context? Sure, I have no problem with that. I just think hijacking context is a good, like, alarming word that give people an idea of what can happen there. Anything else, Bryce, with an I?
No, nothing else at the high level is coming to mind right now. This looks like a pretty good coverage of topics.
Awesome.
Maybe also the fact that post conditions
Thank you.
only apply if the way you call the transaction uses the deny mode. For example, the last exploit was published by a script and post conditions were not there because this is how they work. But maybe like, okay, for the trades, you expect some level of security when you shouldn't have, but maybe from post conditions, you expect more security than you get actually. Because there are cases post conditions can be in allow mode, so maybe you want to be careful.
I think in general, I'm missing one video on post conditions. I agree with someone. I think Gary brought that up earlier. I'll update that for sure. Okay, cool. If there's nothing else anyone has, we can go ahead and move on to the next part. Copy. Cool. Yeah. I mean, hopefully this is going to get approved by Orange Chats, and then I will be recording these videos over the next 30 to the next 1 or 2 months. Cool. All right. Now on to the Alex Go exploit. Alex Go was recently exploited for $8 million. What went wrong, and how can you avoid it? So there are 2 very good threads here by Now, who is a shadowy figure, and dude, I'm not accepting you 16 minutes in. A shadowy figure who knows Clarity extremely well, and Xful, who runs a security firm in Singapore, who is actually part of the Orange Hats cohort. So he has a high degree of Clarity knowledge. Okay. So happy to go over these in detail, but first I want to give you guys a breakdown of my understanding. Alex Show has a whitelist mechanic that allows you to add a trading pair. That whitelist mechanic, it used a fairly advanced mechanism that Marvin and Haas made up last year or in the last months, that basically reconstructs a stacked transaction in the Clarity contract and then checks whether the output of that matches what is being passed in. And that typically works, and it's really, it's a really clever mechanism. But there is a workaround here where if any of you guys have tried deploying a contract and it's failed before, you realize that you can deploy the same contract with the same name. And so being able to do that in conjunction with this whitelist mechanism allowed an attacker to basically say, hey, we're passing in this safe SIP10 contract, and then passed in a malicious SIP10 contract with the same name because the first one had actually failed and it was meant to fail on purpose. Can any of the advanced people disagree with that, agree with that? Is that your guys' understanding of the exploit in general?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I think the key takeaway that everyone needs to remember from this is that a transaction verifying that transaction is included in a block does not at all mean that the transaction was successful. That's the key. The key thing that they, for whatever reason, forgot to check here.
Right now.
Isn't that they forgot to check? Okay,
yeah,
right.
You can't actually check if a transaction was successful or not. It's not possible to do, I don't think.
Right.
So just, don't rely on that at all, I guess, is the takeaway. Yeah.
Bryce, regarding this, I have a question. I mean, the question is, the answer or the reason why this happens is because by including it in a block, the Clarity VM is invoked and then a result is attached after the execution of the transaction, or it's another reason for this?
Yeah, so the result, like the stack, basically the stacks node doesn't keep track of the result at all. It just keeps track of the fact that the transaction was executed in the block. So there's no mechanism to like retrieve that result because we don't actually store it anywhere. Which is why if you want to like go back and check the result from an old transaction, you'd have to hit the API because the API saves those results, but the node itself doesn't, at least currently it doesn't.
Wait, so I'm
Okay.
kind of confused. So when I'm deploying a contract, if it fails, you're saying that it's still part of the block? Is that?
Yeah, that transaction, that deployed transaction is still in the block.
Even if it
because it
fails.
still charges your fee for that transaction and everything. It's just not actually a deployed contract. It's just a failed transaction.
Okay. Okay, I get, yeah, that makes sense. It just becomes a failed transaction. Okay, and you're saying that there's ways you're not really checking it, so you can sort of fool. So you send another one in. Interesting.
Yeah. So what they did, like this attacker was able to provide a TXID that was included in the block that had the same source code that Alex was checking for,
Wow.
but it was not a successful deploy. So then they later deployed a contract with malicious source that had the same name.
And it came from a different address? Because can you
No,
have?
it has to be from the same address.
So you can deploy the same name with the same address?
Well, you can only deploy one time with the same name, same address.
Because it didn't go through.
But the first one was not actually a deploy. It was just a failed transaction. So
Gotcha.
Copy. Cool. For your, I just messaged you as well, but we just went over the roadmap I've created for the 25 days of advanced clarity. I don't want to make everyone wait to go over it again, but would love your final input on this. I think people pointed out that post conditions is one topic I'm missing. So if you can go ahead and just read that over whenever you get a chance. I don't want to hold up the rest of the meeting. So is there anything else that anyone wants to bring up about the Alex Go exploit? If not, we can move on to zero to clarity with Gary.
maybe I'll throw in just real quick. There's a couple of open ideas for clarity changes that would have helped with this hack and other ones. So maybe we can schedule a time in one of these weekly meetings to go through the proposals for what might get included in the next edition of Clarity. The two specific ones that I'm thinking of for this case were the ability to retrieve a contract source code in Clarity. So like you could say, get code 4 and pass in the contract address, and then it would return the string. And the other is, which I think is definitely one that we want to include, is post conditions within a contract. So like right now we have post conditions that as the transaction builder, you add them to your transaction, they're protecting you, the caller, but as the contract, there's not, you have no way of adding post conditions that protect the contract assets.
Gotcha.
So if I could wrap an as contract expression with some post conditions of my own, then I could be sure that even when I call this malicious contract, that when it is supposed to be transferring whatever it actually transfers, like SBTC, it would catch that and it would reject it. The transaction would be a failed transaction. So that's one we talked about for a long time, and I think it's time to get that one in there.
Copy. Yeah. Next meeting, I'll reach out to you within the next week, and we can add that to the agenda for next meeting.
Cool.
So yeah, again, in particular, I want to see some of the Bitcoin Clarity native functions go in as well. That's one. That was something I'm very excited about. Okay, cool. At 9:30, I have to drop to the SBTC all hands, but Gary, take it away with zero to clarity, please.
All right. Well, we should go get through this one fairly quick. I am happy to see some new faces here. So Thank you for joining us, because this was really meant for all the beginner developers on Stacks who are coming in. So I can't straddle the video of myself between the two screens, so I'll just be wherever. So we have gone through some of the checked ones. We're now going to get into the next one, which is read-only. Again, just focusing on our core functions, things that, let's just say, everybody needs to know, even as a beginner. So if you're familiar with read-only just from programming, you might find this fairly simple. If not, I'll go through it. And I said this before, but since there's some new people here, Clarity of Mind, basically the Clarity book, is an amazing resource, so definitely check that out. I could share a link. So what is read-only? As the name applies, read-only functions may only perform read operations, right? So if you want to access data, you can read from data variables and maps, but you cannot write to them. Just some specific details there. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to chime in. Just trying to keep this in time. Why read only? Well, when we want to make a contract, when we want to make contract information accessible, internally and externally, but we don't want it modifiable, right? So we want to make it visible. We want people to have access to the data, but we don't necessarily want them to inject anything in or make any calls. We can make it read-only. So what's interesting about read-only is you can call it within the contract if you're working. You can also call it from another contract using contract call. So we can access that data across contracts. We just can't change it, as we said before, which, if you remember in our last class, the data variable, that was more for changing data. And then we have public functions, which we'll talk about, which is actually executing functions externally. So back to read-only, from outside the contract, opens up contract data, right? As we said, allowing anyone to call that contract and get that data at any time. And we're just going to show what that looks like. So let's say you have a variable, a fairly popular one, right, is keeping track of the token ID. And you've set up that variable. So as we talked about last time, you're setting that variable, you're doing the math on that variable, and then you're going to get that variable. So in this scenario, you would actually set up your read-only function and make it available. You name it. Actually, I have it right here, where you would define it, right? So just literally, this is the statement to define a read-only. You would create a name for it. So it could be ABC123. In this case, obviously, you want it to be as legible as possible. My advice would be to look at other read-only functions, see how they were done, and ideally, you would just copy them over. It's also good for security purposes to make sure that our contracts kind of match up with one another. And then you've got the variable that you're going to get, and then you wrap it with an OK true to make this fully functional. And then the beauty of this, and this is where we can really just end it, is I'm just going to go, this is the first contract that popped up today, just to show you that you can't really, you're not going to be able to write many contracts without any kind of read-only function. So I went into this proof of transfer contract that's being highlighted right now on the homepage with Stacks. And if you go through some of the things, you start to recognize the constants that we went over, which makes sense. And then you get into some public functions here. And then soon enough, you got some maps. Soon enough, you're going to find these read-onlys, okay? So, my advice is take a look at how read-onlys work. In this scenario, you've got burn height to reward cycle, and then it's doing some math with some variables. So once you get to understand the purpose of these functions, how they all sort of break out and how they get put together, it makes things a lot easier when it comes to learning Clarity. And then the beauty is, and this is sort of like the thing that makes a lot of new Clarity developers get really pumped, is once you're logged in and you're connected with your wallet, you can not only see the source code, obviously, that you could do regardless whether you're logged in, but then you can actually access the callable APIs, which are your public functions, or your read-only functions. So in many of these cases, there's really not much I have to do. So that one required an address, which I'm not going to do. But if I could find something here, yeah. So some of these are more complicated, but I'm sure if I can find something, I probably need git stacking minimum. Let's see. Okay, so here you go. So we're just going to check this one out because it doesn't require any input. So here we go. So we called this function and it just gave us a number of what a stacking minimum is. So this is an example of a read-only that was written in this contract. Actually, let's see if we can just, as the last piece, see if we could find it in here.
Doesn't that seem too low?
I don't know.
79,000 stocks.
Is it in here somewhere? Should be obviously. Obviously, it's in here. I'm just, I don't know. How come the find thing doesn't really work well? What's the deal with that? I don't know. Should bring me to where it is, but
You have to control F outside of the.
yeah, that's how I do that. Yeah. So here you go. So for anyone curious, and this is beautiful too. You just hover and it tells you about read only right on the contract, what it's for, and then you actually see how it's being used here. But yeah, I don't know the inner workings of this contract, so if you have thoughts on that minimum, let someone smarter than me know. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, well, thank you for this quick little lesson.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was fast. Nice. Cool. All right, then we finished right on time at 9:30. I appreciate everyone for making it out. It's great seeing new faces and even Satoshi himself showing up. And yeah, Bryce, I'm going to reach out to you over the week so that we can have on the agenda to discuss the next additions to Clarity. So yeah, Frieder, if you go any other of the advanced developers, let's make sure they show up for the next Clarity working group one, because we're going to be discussing what functions we want to be added to Clarity itself. So that should be a pretty important discussion. All right, everyone. Thank you for making it out. Have a great Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right. That was a lot of information. Obviously, it's not necessarily in our wheelhouse. We're not really the dev side of things, but I always find I started participating in Gary's Zero to Clarity classes early on when he first started launching them, and I actually understand a lot more about the programming language of Clarity than I probably ever need to, but I understand it more, so I understand like what a post condition is and how a NFT standardization makes things easier versus trying everyone writing up their own NFT contracts and stuff like that. And I do think it's good to kind of get this exposure for them so that people can even just kind of see what goes on with these groups. This is a decentralized open source meeting. Anyone that wants to participate you can go talk to them. The guys that are really, really the core devs on Stacks every other week, to go and ask them questions and or learn from them on what they're building. I think that's actually a huge value add for our ecosystem that things are available. With that being said, it is time for Find to Earn.
GMG Immortals.
Welcome,
Guys and
Master. Thank you for joining us from the underworld this morning. I understand we have a little bit of a different format today. Why don't you tell us about what we're gonna do today?
Yeah, we play fast, pure chaos. No, we just going the game by the game, the pure madness. Okay, the crypt is open for business. Let's go. Melanie, Michael, if you wanna play, I will start countdown. We'll not stand, we just play all the time. Let's go.
Here we go.
First game for whitelist, you have to find the raccoon.
Ooh, the raccoon.
Let's go.
Come on,
Five.
everybody.
The Fakun.
Raccoon. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Oh man.
1. Let's go.
And the game is launched. Guys, you do need to share out the live stream. You need to share the live stream and you need to like and share
live
the
stream,
game.
share the games. Let's go. It's just a warm-up game. Well,
Sorry, Peace.
where is the stream? Let me share the stream.
Tomorrow is Friday, Peace.
Is that well?
Peace, that is so funny. I'm like saying to Peace, there's a sip call tomorrow. What time is it? He's like, I don't know if there's what's sip call? I'm like, the sip call we do every week.
I'm like, oh yeah, Friday is at 10:30, but tomorrow's Wednesday. I can appreciate
know.
how the days run into each other though.
I actually never know what day it is.
Until I started doing a Monday through Friday morning show, I didn't either.
I don't believe in time or days. They're so silly.
Well, it's just a structure for organization, really. You know, it helps you plan. It helps you plan out the planting and rotation of crops.
But that's the sun and the moon and the ocean and the stars.
You got to know when the sun and the moon are going to do that.
When you're a hippie pagan living in the mountains, there's no clocks.
It's better to live that way. If you don't have to pay attention to it, it's a little less stress.
Yeah, lovely.
You only have to sacrifice one goat per month.
But how do you know when the month is up?
When the moon is dark.
Listen.
So there is no moon, so you know you have to sacrifice something, and then you're all good. The moon is coming back.
It's full moon today.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest in centuries, I believe.
Treasure hunters, make sure you like and share out the live stream.
Anyone?
Okay, we have a winner. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll launch 2 games simultaneously. Be ready.
Come
We
on.
have Flat Earth game and we have a new meme coin built on Bitcoin. It's a Bob from Jack Blockchain. It's a test, just one game for today. We will see how it goes. You have to find the blue crane. Doesn't matter, like just play. Let's go. Are you ready? Not? Doesn't matter. Let's play it. Whoa.
Let's
Come
go.
on.
Come on,
Let's
up.
go,
Two
man.
games
Let's
launch in
do
simultaneous.
it.
Who wanna count down? Let's go.
Come on now.
Oh, we need a
Yeah.
countdown. All right. What should we do? Let's start. Join me tomorrow. I mean Thursday for my show. Let's go.
Okay.
Hey Mel, how'd you like your conversation with Colonel
Let's go.
Barber?
2 games launching. You have to find
I
the
love him.
Gladstone Cage or the blue
Wants to ask you
crane.
more about him.
It's a fun one.
Refresh Skullcoin page.
Thanks for that intro. I really liked him.
Alright.
He's got such a great
Oh,
vibe.
yeah.
Share the stream, share
He
the
sounds
games.
like super smart.
Or we disqualify you. Let's go, Hunters.
Alright. This is gonna be a tough one. Trees in the background, mud huts in front.
I like
Same
this
as the
analysis.
list.
You like orange.
So there's like
I have business in my crypt in 40 minutes
Oh.
or 24 minutes. So
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Hunters.
20
Okay, let's go. And I have to transform because I have to be the human.
Yeah, we need you guys to find these quick. We got business to tend to. We gotta help. We gotta help figure out how many of you guys are actually going to be on the Treasury Committee for the new.
Exactly.
Altcoin Treasury Committee.
No, the
Oh.
real Treasury
the
Committee.
treasure hunters.
Yeah.
Flip the
Treasure
script.
hunters, yeah.
Look.
Who better to be on the Treasury Committee than the treasure hunters?
SIP 031 turns everyone into a treasure hunter, huh?
Yes, that's one of the conundrums there.
I have to go fetch my son. So I'm going to be late for that meeting. Do you think that's fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
So hold on. Is the most important meeting in Stacks history happening today? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
No, I believe
No.
it's not most important.
It's not the most important, but it's an important meeting.
Not unimportant.
It's not unimportant.
Oh my word, you are amusing yourself today big time. I love it.
That's kind of what the whole
Uh,
all
one
of
of
this is about,
one of
really,
the
right?
Have you noticed how calm I am today compared to my ranting?
So
I didn't take my pills yesterday.
So tell them
clearly.
about your chat with Colonel Barber, because I was excited to make that happen. I'm glad you guys got along.
What's so interesting? Colonel Barber and myself
Two
feel exactly
autistic
the
laser
same way.
beams going off.
Whew. Tell me, he's so smart. What does he do? Like, what? How did you meet him? Like, what is
I
his
met him at
thing?
Bitcoin Vegas 2025, and there was a sign that said Satoshi is black, so you gotta talk to them, right? You gotta talk to them. I have this Satoshi is black
So brilliant.
sticker over my Apple sign on my laptop right now.
His sign said Satoshi is. He had a sign that
It said
is black.
Satoshi is black. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
And since Satoshi is God, that means God is black.
I mean, if you believe in the ancient aliens version of history, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You mean that they created the human race to mine gold for them to go distribute into their atmosphere and the planet Nibiru that comes around every...
I mean, that's the beginning.
That one?
That is not my belief.
What the hell is this?
No, I believe the flood game is a wrong starting point.
Oh, really?
What's up, countries? You are in another country.
It was supposed to be medium rare.
Let's recreate this game.
All of my instincts are now shot. I have no.
That was a funny again.
That's awesome. We should do. Hold on. What is that? Is that a little hot dog again? Hey,
Did
look,
we
it's another
find it
hot
for
dog.
the Bob game?
No, Bob.
Dude, and now my
Bob
batteries are
Bob
dead in my
Game's still
lap.
gone. Bob Game is okay. You have to find the blue crane.
The blue game. All right. I'm going to find it because you guys are taking too long here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
show the
let's go.
Yeah, Mel, Colonel Barber, obviously in the army, in the
Is he really a colonel?
retired colonel. Yeah.
Or just like Tom Purple.
Wow.
Is that Brian?
Colonel Barber, the black dude who was talking about recentralization.
I don't think I caught him at Bitcoin Vegas.
Yeah, I only saw him talking to
enough.
you in the
That's
couple
you.
of clips you posted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he seems like an interesting fellow.
I like him. I learned a lot.
Well, he tried to come on the show the other day, right? But it was just
Okay,
Yeah.
we're launching. Okay, we're
Uh-oh.
launching like
yesterday.
relaunch the Flutters
Okay.
game. Let's go. It's not so
Let's
hard.
go. Come on.
And we have more games today.
Oh
Let me-
yeah. All right.
So how do you put yourself forward for the treasury? Or is it you have to be nominated by like
The billion
You
dollar
have to
question.
They are
participate in the session.
that.
So Mitchell made a post on the forum. There's a link.
yeah, I saw
There's a
that.
link in there. You have to follow that link. You have to register for the,
I did
and then
that.
you have to follow. You should. Then you get the like the preliminary documentation to look over. When you read through that, there's a link to answer 2 questions to get the invite to the session this morning. And that's where you can have, there's 3 sessions this week. So there's a Zoom meeting that's happening at 10. So in like 18 minutes. And that is where, so you said you read all the, so he put a list of people that he thought would be good community members to be participatory in the appointment committee and or these discussions, and you were on. Mitchell actually suggested you as one of the potential people. Like, there's a long list of people.
I'm on
You're
the
on the
list. Oh my god, let me fix my hair.
Okay, Dijon Hash is the
You
winner.
want to hear something so funny? Okay, so I stumbled in my doom. I never went on social media in my life, and then like I made a TikTok to advertise my show, which made me then start doom scrolling on TikTok, right? So I see this voice of this guy, and he goes, "Hey baby, how does he go? Wow, baby, what you doing?" wow, baby. Each each post is that. And then there's this super hot girl, like scantily clad, doing like weird shit. Okay.
That's an
watching
algorithm
this, I'm
breaker right there.
Yeah, but now I get like totally like doom scrolled into this people. So I'm like going for it, and it's everything. It's just wow, baby, what you doing? So then I eventually go onto his onto his profile, and I click on it, and they're like porn stars. I was like doom scrolling a porn stars living their
Porn and
life.
beyond.
Anyway.
Okay, we have a winner for the Flutters.
Ah.
We're playing 2 more games.
It's not the best
Let's
thing to
go.
say
We
after
play 2 more
nomination.
games. Double price will be for the Pepe game. Let's go. We are ready to launch. I will count down. 2 more games. 5, 4, 3,
It's my
2,
autism.
1. Let's go.
go.
The games are launching right now.
Good Kitty gets nominated for the Treasury Committee and tells us about doom scrolling porn on Twitter. Congratulations!
Winning!
Well, honestly, the best part was when she's like, "I gotta fix my hair."
The sequence is amazing.
Yeah, this is the most important. Do I look good? And I doom scrolled
Yes.
porn. Nominate me.
Look,
No, man, I'm sorry about that. The worst things come out my mouth at the
I
most
think that's
inappropriate time. There was no porn in the doom scrolling. It was just her doing weird stuff, but she basically always had a bikini on. But it was just, it's like the kind of stuff that sucks
look,
you in.
maybe if you guys wore a bikini, you'd be on the Treasury Committee
Okay, we
too.
have a winner for the Bob game. It's a new player. He beats everyone else.
I'm thinking of it.
It's very
Come
nice.
on. Gotta make it rain.
Okay, that's so exciting.
Congratulations, Good Kitty. You must have done
Orange, did
something
you
good.
find the cat?
I like this road.
No, it's another tree.
There's so many things.
Sorry.
Okay.
Is this it?
How do we make sure people don't have to
shit.
fight?
I found it. There you go. By accident. Nice. This wasn't an easy one.
Okay, we have still no winners for the last 2 games. You have to find the tree, or the big tree, or the orange container. Like,
Nice. I'm
I
glad
think
I
the
got this
hunters
one.
are all tired this morning.
I got this flat Earth one. This one wasn't.
yeah, nice. But we have already winners.
Nah, God. All right, hold on. Always chasing the dragon.
No, it's a
Alright.
different tree, Nixie. You found the same tree as orange.
All right, let's see here. What are we looking for? What am I searching for? What am
On
I
the one
looking-
MS, you have to find orange container. Like, you drop the same
container.
image as
Side yellow building.
the lady or whatever. It's a different. It's not the Ghibli image.
Où se trouve l'édifice jaune?
Very intense game. Focus, mortals. Who will join to leaderboard?
Building.
Okay, we have a winner. It's a little dude across
Come
the
on.
street.
Doha.
And we have still no winner for Leo.
You guys know about Doha? You don't know about Doha.
Doha, Qatar,
Qatar.
Qatar.
Qatar. Damn. I wonder if that's how Stuxnet felt. Sorry, too soon. Alright, Qatar. Okay. What kind of thing? This way. Alright. Yellow building with a ramp. Interessant. Okay. Wow. It's a nice place.
Wow, what a list.
Right? I like going around in a circle. Okay, sorry.
You and
Michael, can you find the tree? Because like hunters cannot find the
Oh,
tree.
the tree? Yeah, I'll save them.
Let's
All right.
go.
Michael to the rescue. Da, 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 da.
The little game. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Leave it to a Guyanese person. I'll find the trees. All right, hold on. You guys can't find the trees? Come to Toronto. They deliver to your house. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you have to go on the south, and on the west.
West. Go west.
Southwest.
Remember that song, Go West? Who was that? Mel, you must know that. Go West. Who sang that?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Go West was a band. Go West was a
Didn't
band
they have a song, Go West?
in the 80s.
You guys don't.
I don't
You
know.
guys aren't 40 like me.
But I know there's a band.
How the hell am I supposed to
Oh,
find
no,
this? Look at all the trees here.
Oh, no. it's
Okay,
not.
go to the south.
Hunters, we have 10 minutes to find these games and get through the rounds, or all of the prizes.
None of you get on the appointment committee.
All of the prizes will be designated to the
All the
appointment.
prize will go to treasure.
We should have the appointment committee determined by their ability to find locations on Skullcoin.
So it's
Yeah,
orange.
that's nice. Like mine.
Orange,
Right?
Isaac,
Think about it, huh,
Yeah, it's a
Xenitron?
brain check. Like,
Yeah.
really.
Proof
DD.
of intelligence, huh?
Okay, we have a winner. It's Lil Dude across the street.
Yeah. Now he gets on the appointment committee. Damn it. Took my spot.
Lil Dude on fire.
Little dude.
Ooh.
Little dude's on the committee.
We'll do it on
Well,
fire. Should I wrap
welcome.
it up?
Undead committee.
Where are we in the world? Oh, look at that little hedge. Damn, these people really like manicured lawns, huh? Damn. That looks like AstroTurf, though. Doesn't look real.
Where's this?
Looks Arizona. Look at that. You ever seen a hedge like that?
It's the Mendiga Liera district.
What the hell?
Liera district.
Look at that. Have you ever seen anything like that?
I have, but it's strange. You mean the sign or the bush?
Little plant.
You've never seen a manicured bush before?
Oh my god, look at that man.
Usually it's a bit darker in the room. Sorry.
That's sounds like a personal preference to me, man.
Okay, I have to go to transform. See you
Okay.
later, everyone.
Bye.
Well, we found a manicured
Can I
Well
say
played
something?
today.
I've just
It's not every day you find a.
bye Xenitron. See you
It's not
later.
every day you find a manicured bush on the live stream at 9 a.m.
Is that all rounds?
That'll make 2 manicured bushes on the live stream today.
At least.
At least. How many manicured bushes have we got on the live stream?
I mean,
Yes, don't worry.
Move it.
Yeah. I think I am not doing very well in terms of my conversation.
No,
No, you're
today.
doing very well.
But
I think
very well.
very, very well.
Can I just say something? I've just gone through that list of people. There are, now the list is very long, right? And it's incredible people on that list. There are 2 women on that list.
Only 2?
Yes, only 2. Either just 2 or only 2, just 2. Sadly,
I would-
just 2.
I
I
would
can't believe
nominate
it.
By the way, that's an
Electra.
open document. You can absolutely go add people, Melanie, if you think that there are people, women or otherwise, that are not on that list that should be
Yeah.
included. You can add people.
It's an incredible list of people.
It's a huge list of people, and we're only going to be able to pick 7 out of them. I mean, it's listen. Nobody should feel badly if they're not put on that list. You know, if they're not actually included in the, even if they're not on that list.
Well, you can just go put yourself on the list. You can just go put yourself on the list.
You can go put yourself on the list, but I don't think nobody wants to.
Maybe we can see like people start doing like political speeches. As Treasury appointee, I will make sure to include, subnets.
You know what though? People that are campaigning to be on the committee are probably the people you don't want on the committee.
That's right. So it's the people who don't want to have the job is the people you should pick.
Yeah, you know what? There's an incredible documentary that I watched about this dude who wanted to get like shamanic healing, right? So he went into the Amazon, and he was documenting the whole process, and he was going sort of deeper and deeper and deeper into the Amazon, and he kind of documented it in a way like a lot of the time the camera was he didn't have a camera going like this. And he, you could kind of see what are the words when people are like bullshitters? Like, anyway, they were kind of pretending to be shamans. They just did it for money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they would kind of say they were healers because if you go to the Amazon, everybody wants And anyway, he goes like deeper and deeper and deeper. He keeps having these treatments, and then he eventually gets like super deep into the Amazon, and he says to this guy who's like taking him there on a boat, like, I've been searching, but I just know that charlatans. I just know that these people are charlatans, right? How am I going to know when I find like a true healer? And the guy said, you'll know when he doesn't charge you. And I just thought that was so beautiful, And I feel sometimes about this ecosystem in the same way. If you look at how many people have been here and run the course through like terrific bear runs and bull runs, and just kept on doing stuff, like Peace with DeOrganized Media for $140.
30 years.
You know what? It's because though I see we have developed some revenue streams. It's not where we need to be, but we're trending positively. We have support for Find to Earn. We just had all these, almost all of the tokens that have been doing Find to Earn re-upped for June, even though I'm slow and late on the process because it's already like a week and a half into June, and I just got around to asking them, and we had an extra week. But there's support.
No, it's amazing. I mean, I'm just saying how it started.
Right. No, you're right, but that's I think that makes for a much stronger ecosystem, by the way, when people actually got started with proof of work rather than refunding. And I'll tell you, I don't think I could have been as productive if I had a big working budget that a media company should have. There's a lot we could do with a budget that we don't have right now. Like, have a full-time producer that's producing the show while we're, that coordinating the schedule a little bit better, like the guests and everything. Like, there's all sorts of things we could do. Some advertising. We do no marketing right now. I mean, imagine if we were actually marketing on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok and whatnot. We'd be growing very rapidly. But we have a huge organic base right now, which is also great.
The thing is, exactly. And I mean, I know from starting my own business, I've started an ad agency and then a music business, is that I started it with just me. Okay, my ad agency, I started with a partner, but we did everything until we could build up. And I did it the same with, the music business that I run. I did everything from the start, which means I know what everybody's jobs are and I know them well. So nobody can, people are looking wavy. Hi, Nobody Famous.
This is a Nobody Famous original. She made this. Commissioned by Rafa. GP's going to wear his tomorrow.
Where am I going?
Oh, I want I want some
The
kitty
fact shirt, the
merch.
fact fun.
Oh
Didn't you
yeah,
get
I didn't get a fact fund shirt.
what? I thought nobody. Didn't she? I thought she had one for you. I'm sorry. I thought she had one for you.
I got a Beat Pepe towel though. I'll rock that on my shoulder or something.
So, Good Kitty, now that you're on the Appointments and Treasury and Money Committee, who would you like to thank?
Guys, I actually have to wrap. I have to wrap now.
Well, no more chance for the acceptance.
You can't thank anybody until tomorrow, Mel.
You just got pulled off stage like they do at the Oscars.
Yank.
Damn.
That felt very much like the Oscars. I'd like to thank. Sorry, Bar.
Cut her off. Cut her off. Don't
Play
let
the
her,
music.
don't let her thank the porn stars.
Yeah. I'd like to thank all my years in porn.
No.
That is not true, people.
I mean, if you want to market Bitcoin and stacks, wouldn't it be in the place where men are the most?
You gave it to me.
Anyways.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks. I'll see you just now. I'm gonna. Oh, I can log on now.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Another great episode. Get out. There's a lot going on in this community. Stacking DAO DeFi show going on. If you're not in the appointments committee session that's happening also right now, tune into the Hermetica Hangout, Art on Stacks, all things crypto, the DeOrganized night show tonight. We got a lot going on. I am PeaceLoveMusic. We are DeOrganized Media coming at you live on BitcoinLive, Decentralized, Monday through Friday, bringing you all the information that you may or may not care to know. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. You have a blessed day. GP, any last things? Anything else I missed?
Yeah, so jump into the Stacking DAO Discord. We have a weekly screen share going down where we will be doing some deck building for the Pokemon TCG Pocket League that we have going on. And yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff, a lot of awesome activities going down. Go check out the activity schedule. Get into the Zest Discord and get active. You guys have a very blessed rest of your day. Keep loving the room. Keep the frequency high. We're going to the moon. You guys have a good one. Peace.